men lost their loved ones due to COVID-19, and this has caused a lot of mental a lot of mental health issues on people. So let me bring in Professor Navid Kapoor, who's a professor in terms of mental health, joining us virtually. Prof, thank you for joining us here on KTN News Center. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Now, Prof, how bad is the situation as we speak about mental health and COVID-19, even as the different countries globally report on the third wave of the virus?
See, actually, last year when we started understanding that there is something called COVID-19 and this coronavirus strain which is coming up and disrupting our lives. So it was a very new thing for all of us to even understand that what this coronavirus could do and what is it exactly. And suddenly in March, on March 22nd, like the end of March, the entire world was, I think, shut down. First time we ever heard that there is something called lockdown and night curfews and restrictions. Now that has actually affected a lot of people mentally and psychologically. Emotional turmoils have been increased, families have been disrupted, domestic violence has increased, rape has increased, and even marital rapes have increased globally when we see.
All right.
Now we need to understand actually that how we have to deal with this kind of a situation, because obviously if you see that even till today we are not able to subside coronavirus even after the vaccination has come. Mm-hmm. So we need to do a lot more from our own end, which is psychologically keeping us healthy.
All right. But then, Prof, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic recessions have negatively affected people's mental health and created new barriers for people already suffering from mental health issues and substance use disorders.
Yes. See, obviously, that's the repercussion which coronavirus has given us, definitely, and I would agree with it. And even I have had cases during this pandemic last year and even till today that, you know, people have increased their alcohol intake, and some people are going towards alcohol disorders or something like that. Coming to economic recession, yes, the lockdown has affected the economies worldwide. You talk about African continent, you talk about the Asian continent, you talk about the Western countries. So obviously the lockdown has impacted all of us. But my only point of suggestion would be here that people who are actually lot anxious with it and be dealing with a lot of anxiety issues, what they should do during this kind of a lockdown, because we have to adjust to this new normal. We have to adjust our mindset to the upcoming challenges which are going to come with this coronavirus. Now, if you see that there was one thing called COVID-19 coronavirus, now the mutants, the strains, everything is coming up.
All right.
Vaccination distribution is obviously slow, but slowly and steadily it is reaching out to people. Mm-hmm. We have to understand that we have to adjust to this kind of a normal.
All right.
We have to cope with it.
All right. But then when we talk about, COVID-19 and the mental health, what population are actually particularly at risk for experiencing negative mental health issues?
The kind of cases which I have actually dealt with during this 1 year was an age group between, you can say, 25 to 30, and sometimes between 20 to 25. So it's like a younger age group which is more at a risk of suicide and unemployment and emotional disturbances, agitation, aggression. So this is the kind of age group which is a lot at risk as of now if they are not channelized properly.
All right. And Prof, as we wind up this conversation, when you're talking about mental health issues related to COVID-19, what are we talking exactly about? Is probably stress, associated with mental health? Kindly break it down for us.
So when we talk about mental health and COVID-19, I have given it a term called COVID anxiety. Okay. So COVID anxiety is something when you are at a risk of fear of unknown. What is going to come next. So that is one kind of anxiety. This anxiety is actually leading to a lot of stress with people because they are losing their jobs, and some people are actually working from home. And working from home is also creating a lot of turmoil within people because there is no time to the work pattern. Now, when you go to an office, you know that you have stipulated time of hours to work. But when you're sitting at home and you're working from home, obviously it creates a lot of pressure. So that pressure has to be understood in terms of stress and tension and the worry. So anxiety we have stress. And some people are actually going towards depression side. Now, the last year I had 5 to 7 cases, especially from the African continent. I will not name the country. Specifically dealing with young, the youth depression, because they do not have the aptitude and they're not able to come out of this danger zone. So all these things are there.
All right. All right, Prof, thank you so much. Professor Nabed Kapoor, who is a professor in mental health issues, talking to us here on KTN News Center, live from New Delhi in India, virtually, for this conversation about the effects of COVID-19 on our mental health. But then now, back here at home, and days after President Uhuru Kenyatta announced a cessation of movement into 5